Go ahead.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming today. Today is April 29th, 2025. This is a meeting of the Appointments Committee. This meeting is being recorded and will be rebroadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known. Seeing none, this meeting will be replayed via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It also may be accessed via the Government Access Channel Live Video On Demand archives on the Town of Barnstable's website. Roll call, please.
Councilors, Burdick.
Present.
Bloom.
Here.
Mendez. Crow.
Here.
Chair of Committee, Councilor Turkelson.
Here.
You have quorum.
Okay, and the first item of business is public comment. Just making sure there's nobody here for public comment. Okay, and we're going to start with the interviews. The first person we have today is Jillian Boyle, and she is applying for a youth commission term expiring 6/30/2026. And Councilor Burdick, would you like to start?
Me first? Of course, why not? Hi, nice to meet you. So, I've got your extensive CV here. And so you've been a hostess and ice cream scooper, a high school student currently at John Paul.
Yeah.
Do we have any kids from John Paul on the youth commission at the moment?
2.
So,
Sister.
one of them is your sister.
She was going to test my memory, but I'm like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, we got 2. And one of them is her older sister.
So I usually ask people all about their career and their life and everything, and usually the people are much, much older and they have a whole big story to tell. But so I'll just ask, what makes you want to get involved?
I've been involved in student government since I was at the middle school at St. John Paul, and I've enjoyed my time, and I'm looking to kind of take a step outside the school and go for something a little bit bigger, which is what I was kind of hoping to do on the youth commission for the town.
Yeah, what do you think the priorities of the youth commission should be, or how do you feel about what they're up to, what they've been doing, what they should be doing?
I know youth commission does a lot of work with, they do like the One Love, and they do a lot of stuff raising awareness for things regarding like teens especially, and I think that is quite important, and I think that should be continued, and if anything, I think it should be expanded upon.
There you go. That's all I got. Next.
Councilor Crowe.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I see, where would you host this?
At Portside Tavern.
Woodside Tavern, okay, and you're an ice cream scooper where?
I was at Katie's, but then I am at Four Seas this summer.
Oh, that's a good thing. I'll be seeing you this summer. And what year are you in school?
I am a sophomore.
Sophomore. Are you thinking of school in the future, or you're not quite ready yet?
I'm definitely going to extend my career in education, but I don't know exactly where or what I'm going to do. That's stuff I've got to think about. So yeah, college lists will probably be happening next year for me, and then visits and all the stuff.
And you want to be in education, just we said?
No, I think,
Continue education?
yeah, continue my education, probably in a STEM field.
STEM
So,
field, oh, that's great, okay.
That's where I'm hoping to end up.
What are your favorite parts of it? What field are you considering?
Probably something engineering based.
Engineering.
I do really like biology as well, and my dad's a doctor, so I've grown up kind of with that sort of side. And a lot of my family members, extended family, are in the medical field, so I've grown up with that.
Yeah.
So bioengineering is like a cool combination of both the medical side and the engineering side, which would combine my interests. So it's something I'm quite interested in.
Well, considering your age, to have those interests at this age is a good head start. Because a lot of us went to school, didn't know what exactly we were going to school for. But okay, and the youth commission, why the youth commission? And I don't want to repeat any other questions, but what do you know about the youth commission, and where do you see yourself fitting in?
I don't know a lot about the youth commission, I'm going to be honest. I haven't really talked much to my sister about it, but I know what she does. She goes to her meetings, and then I know they do like the One Love stuff, and there's other things. But I think with myself, I would just like to fit in as just another voice to represent. I know, I think Barnstable High School is a lot more represented than St. John Paul, and both of the girls that are on the youth commission are seniors. so they're going to be leaving at the end of this year. So if I could just kind of be another voice to help the kids from the town of Barnstable at my school kind of get what they want into the youth commission, I think that would be my goal.
Okay, I think you said something about field hockey. Are you
Yes.
a member of the field hockey team? And do you do any other sports?
I run winter track and I play lacrosse in the spring.
Good for you. I was an old lacrosse player myself, so a little bit different between the guys and the girls, but it's a good sport that you can do for quite a long time. So you're thinking about doing that, continuing those kinds of activities in college, if you go to college?
I'm planning, I'm hoping if I can get like a D3 offer, probably I would play field hockey. That's kind of like my main focus is field hockey.
Okay.
So not really lacrosse, but I do enjoy it on the side.
Yeah, and D3 is less pressure. And
Yeah, I don't
that kind
think
of stuff, just for
D1
fun.
is for me, so.
Yeah, I went to D3 school and it was just, you did it because of love of the sport.
Yeah.
And that was it. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you for answering my questions.
Counselor Bloom?
Jillian, I think you're the perfect person for one of the open slots, and I have no questions for you at this time.
Thank you.
You've talked eloquently and smartly, and you know yourself, and I think you'd be great.
Thank you.
Last couple of questions. So your sister's a senior.
Yes.
Does she go to school, you both in the same school?
Yep.
Okay. And does she know what her plan is when she graduates?
She's going to go to the University of Pittsburgh and major in nursing.
Okay, all right. And you have other brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother, yep.
Okay, and he's in college or out of
He
college?
he's out of college now. He's looking to he's like applying to schools to extend his education as well.
Okay. And now, being part of your school, do you think there are other kids in your class that you might recruit to join you?
The hard part is at St. John Paul's we're not a town school, so not a lot of my friends are they don't live in the town of Barnstable,
Yeah.
Which is kind of the tough part.
Yeah.
I did want to try to bring some of my friends, but most of my friends live in Sandwich,
Yeah.
which is hard.
Yeah.
But if I can if I can bring this into my school and make people aware of the Youth Commission and that it exists in Barnstable, I could probably find some more kids from Barnstable that would enjoy it.
And if you're on the youth commission as a sophomore, obviously you'll be starting, coming into next year, so you'll have a couple of years to be on that, so you could maybe recruit some other, incoming Barnstable students that might come through school, so that would be great.
Charles
to expand
Atlas.
it. I think that's all. We really appreciate your time. Good luck in your game today.
Thank you.
Kill
Wow,
them.
Julie's
Yeah.
good. Good luck.
So I'm all set?
All set?
Right, thank
I'll
you so
see
much.
After your game.
You want to
All right,
high?
thanks, Jen.
Yeah.
You trying? Yeah, that's 1, 2. Don't want John to die.
Yes.
It's the committee taking care of it.
Yeah.
And working together.
That's it.
Of course.
Okay, so we have David, how do I pronounce you? Goro, applying for the Open Space Committee for a vacancy to a term that expires on 6/30/2027. And Councilor Bloom, would you like to start?
Sure.
Although I know you guys were chatting beforehand, so bring us up to speed.
Open space is it's an area that is very important to the town. What is your interest in joining the town's open space committee, and what do you hope to achieve?
Well, it's a good question. The open space is integral to everything that I've done at Barnstable High when I taught there. It was always about getting kids outside, and we visited different properties during the time I was teaching. It's important for the whole community. And one of the things I would love to see happen is somehow find properties that will allow access for everyone in town. One of the things that just as an aside, it was a group of students that was from Marston's Mills. And it was an after-school program that had been set up, conservation-based. And it was a nice group of kids, but they were all from Marston's Mills. Because kids who are in this part of town couldn't access it, say buses don't run there, and unless they have parents or a vehicle, they couldn't get there. So that it would be nice if there were places that students could call their own in every part of the town. And I do see that Hyannis is an area that does need some sort of expansion. I see open space as victory gardens. Maybe if space in this part of town were to open up. Because I look at the fact that I always forget which Long Pond has got community gardens there. Every part of the Barnstable should have community gardens available, because not everyone has a backyard that they can grow something. And just getting your hands in dirt means everything. And my other little bit from teaching was my AP Environmental Science. So these are kids that they just want to get an A. They want to get 5s on the AP exam. They want to get an A. But I said, this class today, we're doing soils. And the grade is based upon me seeing dirt under your fingernails. You have to come and show me that you had your hands in the dirt. They still talk to me. The kids have been out of school for years. I still remember when you made me get my hands dirty. Now I do it all the time. So it's really do see the opportunity from open space to really kind of expand the community ability to access the outdoors.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Berter?
Me next? Okay, got it. So, 27 years in Barnstable, 2 years in Nauset. Which came first?
That's like the chicken and the egg. on Cape, it was Nauset first.
Yeah.
And before that, Sturbridge.
Yeah. How long have you been retired?
Post-COVID, was it 1 year after COVID? Yeah, I think it's 4 years now.
So not too long.
No.
How have you been staying busy?
Oh, I find it easy to stay busy. I've done work with Barnstable Land Trust as a land steward.
Yeah.
I'm always walking properties. One of the things that my peers that are still teaching, they said, I want your job, that you just go and you walk through the woods and you document things. And that's it's just what I like to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I was mentioning to Council Bloom the whole idea that right now both my wife and I have elderly parents, and they're nowhere near the Cape. So it's like up to Worcester for one, to Damariscotta, Maine for the other. It's like
So a lot of traveling.
It's a lot of traveling.
And they must be very elderly.
Yeah, 95 in one case and turning 90 in the other
Well,
case.
there you go. So you're busy. Do you have any boards or nonprofit boards or anything you serve on, or anything like that?
I work on as an advisor and the board for the Science and Technology program at Barnstable High School.
So you're still involved here, so.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you find things at the high school of late?
It's a changed beast, but it's also, I always feel like it's a constant change, but it's always the same.
Right.
There's always kids.
Yep, and always teachers.
And there's always teachers. And there's different little things all the time that come up that every group of students has their own thing.
Yeah.
That's
Each generation is defined by something.
yes. Unfortunately, this one seems to have a lot of impact right now.
I
But
know.
I would fight it as much as I could, but in the end, I'd find ways to incorporate it, like going outside and doing environmental studies, say, you're gonna have to document this many species while we're out there. Not only do you need to take the picture, then you have to figure out what it is. How are you gonna do that? So using things like iNaturalist, that a lot gets kids moving in a right direction, they see other uses.
And you were mainly a science teacher,
Mainly a science teacher, yeah.
and you studied zoology.
Yeah, I was actually animal science and zoology. I was looking towards veterinary school at first, and had a falling out at the time with organic chemistry.
You're not the only one.
It didn't stop me from graduating with the degree, but it did cut down my chances with veterinary school. So I kind of worked in medical labs, and after medical labs, worked at the Museum of Science in Boston, and had student volunteers there who said, you know, if you were my biology teacher, I would know a whole lot more. And they were my inspiration, so.
Well, there you go. It sounds pretty good to me. I'll save some questions for you guys. That's all I got there.
We can take all our questions and we just get to say pass.
Well, no, you'll probably still come up with something.
Counselor Crowe.
David, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure to
John
meet you
Crowe,
too.
and you sound very enthusiastic, the kind of person that we need for open space. What do you feel about the Barnstable Land Trust and conservation restrictions in the future?
You know, it's always to me, it's a difficult. I love Barnstable Land Trust and stuff. I started working with Jackie Barton, like 97, I think was the first year, because we did the River 2000 project together. And that's when we had kids from Marston's Mills that went to the river. And they did it every Tuesday for 4 years. Didn't matter whether it was rain, snow, they were out there collecting data. I see a lot of benefits with the conservation restrictions in some cases. Other times I look at it and I say, I feel like same people are getting the benefits for all the time. You know, and some of the restrictions prevent building on property that won't be built on anyway.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of gets put into this little box and it has a little sign. And doesn't mean someone gets to walk there, but it's saves it for a rainy day maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those people who think that if we have a place set aside, it should be able to be used by the public.
Agreed.
At least have a trail or whatever that is available, since the public is actually sort of paying for those in the first place, which is good. Let me see, what else did I have for you? I got a fellow friend who said that you were a great guy, so I should vote for you. Fellow counselor, so I'll take that person's view very strongly. I don't think I have any further questions, David.
Okay.
I do know Cindy told me that you attend the open space meetings already.
Yes.
So, and she didn't really give me the exact time frame of how long you've been attending consistently.
I forget when I think Lev mentioned about the position being open in December, and I think it's since then.
Okay.
So I've had enough times going to say that, yeah, I would like to continue doing it, so.
And when you started attending the meetings, was it just because you wanted to know what the open, I'm just trying to understand like your story of your connection, because here we are, it's almost May, and you've been waiting diligently for us, so we really appreciate that. So just wondering, I mean, obviously, you're a person who knows the open space in our town well, probably, better than maybe I do, so I think that's great. So I'm just curious how you transition from knowing our lands to wanting to be on a committee.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
retirement might be part of that, so.
No, I think it's, I had always thought, I will say, a few people tried to say, oh, you should get on the Conservation Commission. And I felt like I didn't have the time at the time to do that. Like I put my time into my kids at school and to my 2 daughters, and that was life. But Lev has definitely been an inspiration. He's the one, and Lindsay Council also with, you know, we'd be walking and I'd hear them talking about things about, you know, and how can we look at this as far as the next step? And I said, so take the next step. Yeah, it's wonderful to get out into the woods. It's wonderful to use the woods. It's another to be a part of looking at applications and figuring out what the stewardship role now is for the town, now that we've given access and we have what, water lands, fire lands, town lands. Someone's gonna be stewards for that as well. And how do you make, I'm not sure exactly what the role is as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
It's something that we're looking to figure out.
Okay, well, thank you. It's been very interesting. Like, your enthusiasm is contagious, especially on a day like today.
Yeah.
We should be doing this interview outside, I think.
Yeah, we could do a walk. I think, let's see, in May, we have the weekend, the walk weekend. That's coming up. I'm gonna do one at 4:00. I think it was gonna be on Saturday in the Allen property, and that goes into and around Coombs Bog. So if you want to come out, should be a nice walk.
Well, your students were obviously very lucky to have you as a teacher, and I think the town of Barnstable would be lucky to have you on this committee to, keep eyes on what's going on and help us make some good, solid decisions. So we appreciate you coming in today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me in.
Thank you, David.
Thanks.
Nice meeting.
Well, enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, you too. Michael Travato is applying for the licensing authority.
Hi.
There are no current vacancies, but
Just-
there are, oh, there is?
Point of interest, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I just received an email yesterday
Okay,
that somebody that is currently on there wishes not to be reappointed, so an
Okay.
opening, but this was
More
posted
reappointments. Okay.
before,
okay, so we actually will have an opening.
yes.
Once the term ends on 6:30 of 2025, so we are here to meet Mr. Travato. Welcome. Councilor Crowe, would you like to start?
Sure. Mike, tell me something about yourself. You've got a Business Administration, International Studies, Political Science, Stonehill College. Good things about Stonehill. You're a stone owner. What kind of business are you in?
I owned a couple of retail businesses. One was Pier 1 Imports. I don't know if you remember Pier 1. I was the only franchisee in Massachusetts for Pier 1, which was a national chain.
Okay.
Had that business for about 20 years and I opened a second business, Nantucket Trading Company, which was on Main Street as well for a number of years. So I've been, was doing business here for about 25 years in Hyannis as a retail shop owner.
You seem to like long hours.
Yeah. Well, it's also rewarding. I know it's you work 7 days a week sometimes, but you're working for yourself, so
Well, that's good.
it's really rewarding
That's good.
to own your own business.
Yeah. Why the licensing authority?
If you've read further into my resume, I'd see that I also served in the public sector. I worked for the town here for about 10 years
Okay.
in the planning department as its economic development specialist.
Okay.
I was liaison to the business community, helped at all different economic development initiatives, and try to work with, trying to help expedite permitting for local businesses trying to move into town. Obviously paid very close attention to what was happening with the licensing authority, since a lot of people opening businesses in town had to go through licensing authorities. So obviously attended and viewed a lot of the licensing authority meetings during that tenure. I then got offered a position running assistant town administrator up in Wellfleet. I did that position for a couple of years. So I have a pretty good mix of public and private sector experience. And the private sector is in small business management, and public sector had to do with business. So licensing authority obviously is one of the linchpins in town for permitting for small businesses to get themselves open. So we've always had affinity towards that particular committee since board, since I've been having to view it a lot over the years. But I also like the idea of serving on a board that can make a difference to people. They actually, as opposed to an advisory type board, regulatory boards comfortable in that world. Really.
Are you still in the retail business? Or
No,
you
I'm
got-
retired.
So you're no
Retired.
longer in, you wouldn't be the licensing authority
No.
being in business as a.
No,
somebody who
there's
could-
no conflict here with, still in business. Obviously, was an active member of the business community while I was here. I served on the board of directors of both the Hyannis Chamber of Commerce, the BID, the Main Street Business. I chaired the Main Street Business Association before that became the BID. So, as you can see, I've served on boards and committees for quite a while throughout my tenure. I don't know if that's answering your question, but
Okay, so your last, one of your last was working in the planning and development department from 10 to 19.
Right.
Because it's not too far out of, it isn't too long ago, 6 years, I guess.
no, it's got a not too long, but long enough. So that, kind of distance myself from the business community at this point. It's not like you'd have direct relationship with anybody directly to do with that right now. So that's I think I've had a good chance now to be, as now that I'm retired, had a few years to kind of step back from the public sector, but now kind of say, well, how can I now serve the town as a private citizen? So that's why now I'm offering myself to volunteer as on a board or committee here in town.
Other than volunteering, what do you like to do during retirement?
I'm active in, actually have a master boat captain's license, so I actually do a part-time summer job as a charter boat captain on a sailboat, and I also a boat captain for the Maritime Museum here in Hyannis for the Young Mariners Program. So my summer is pretty much, it's very busy with that and golf. I belong to 2 town courses as well, so I golf. That keeps me very busy, and have an elderly mother that I've been trying to help take care of for a few years now as she's moving into assisted living type environment.
A lot of us have done that, so that's a tough part of life, so.
So it's
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Okay, Michael, thank you for answering my questions.
Counselor Bloom.
Hey, Michael, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Geez, I'm looking at your CV here, and I think you've got a great CV. You're in a way, you're overqualified. It's just that one slot. You should be on the golf committee too.
I've only been a member of the town courses since I retired, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been golfing with the town for a lot longer than I have, probably would want to move into that position. Not that I wouldn't want it, I would love to do that. I also have put my name in for, just a sidebar, for the Waterways Committee because of my extensive experience on the water too, so.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I've had a very diverse business career.
I'm not sure about the master of none part, but you certainly do have all kinds of great experience. I think that would be really beneficial to any board to be able to join. And thanks for your retirement, coming out and saying, I want to help the town. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for serving. You guys do.
That's what I do in my retirement now.
Counselor Berta.
All right, thanks. Well, nice to meet you, as they all said. You've been sitting here for a little while. I was just not curious, how was it in Wellford?
Wellford was interesting times because shortly after I got there, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a perfect storm. COVID had hit. We had a town administrator retiring, had changeover in several town staff positions, most notably in the treasurer and the finance.
We had a big thing where $3 million went missing.
It was a big, that was not the reason why I left, but it was kind of a tough time to be there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
During that tenure. But I actually enjoyed being there. Again, wearing a lot of hats. I wore a lot of hats down there.
Oh, I bet.
I really enjoyed being there. But I also had some personal illnesses that eventually made me want to retire. But I was offered another position in running Pleasant Bay Community Boating Program down in Harwich a couple of years into that position, and my commute was a little shorter,
Yeah.
and I was out on the water all day and had a little more
Yes.
enjoyable position there doing that. So I did that for a couple of years
And
as
what is-
well. And then,
Yeah, what's the nature of the Pleasant Bay Community Boating? I'm not familiar with that.
oh, it's quite a program they have down there. They actually have a 4-acre waterfront property on Pleasant Bay.
Oh, really?
That they run mostly youth programs, youth sailing programs
Yeah.
down there, but they also have adult programs as well, adaptive programs for folks with disabilities. They run about 700 folks through that program every year, those programs every year. But it's a nonprofit, and
Yeah.
I actually had started a community sailing program like that here locally that's still around. I'm not affiliated with it officially now anymore, but Cape Cod, if any of you have ever heard of that, I was a co-founder of that as well here in Hyannis. So it seems like my first love now is the water.
Yeah, I suppose.
The second is golf. And
Well, all the headaches associated with the town turmoil, being out of the water is better probably.
yeah, it was. It was just it's just good timing for me to be recruited for another position that was kind of a dream position for me. So
And the town administrator is like the town manager, right? It's not-
exactly, yeah, same thing. Yes,
Same idea.
Barnstable's the only town with a city form of government
Right,
and
where it's all the manager.
manager, council form of government. The rest are all, as you know, selectmen. So.
Well, there you go. That's very interesting. And Pier 1, I didn't realize it was a, excuse me, a franchise.
Yeah, I had the only franchise in Massachusetts.
How many stores did you operate under that franchise?
I had two, one here and one in New Hampshire.
Ah,
But at the time, there were 500 corporate stores and 50 franchises, and we were
Yeah.
2 of 50.
Whatever happened to them? Because I only ever remember there being, well, was it the one that was over by,
The festival.
Festival.
That was mine.
Festival?
Yeah, I started on Main Street and then moved it up to Festival when that opened to get a bigger
Yeah.
location close to the highway, and then opened Nantucket Trading Company down here on Main Street. But Pier 1 corporate decided they want to get out of franchising, so they eventually bought out the franchises and
I see.
ours. They've actually subsequently gone out of business.
Yeah.
So it was another fortuitous thing that. Although I think if we had our one, we probably would still be in business with it, but I'm not sure that they.
yeah.
Retail is tough these
Oh,
days,
yeah.
and I was actually kind of glad to be out of. I enjoyed my retail, but I could see the handwriting on the wall, retail, and was offered the position here. So my whole career, if you look at my track, was being in the right place at the right time, being offered
get
a
out.
position. No, not necessarily that, but just I think moving up, onward and
I know
up
what you
kind of thing. So it never was an out thing; it was more upward and up.
Well, anyway, thank you. That's all I got. But yeah, as Charlie said, you well and truly qualified to do something like this. So that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, I just also mentioned that I am also a graduate of the Citizen Police Academy, so I obviously a high level of respect for our police department, who I know
Yeah.
works closely with the licensing authority, and certainly, I'm comfortable, in the knowledge that I, do, respect what they do and what their role is, within the authority too.
How do you,
Town.
I'm sorry, you done?
Yeah.
How do you see your position or what you'd like to do with the licensing authority? Do you see any ways to improve or I'm just sort of curious?
Yeah, I will say that I haven't seen any recent meetings, and so, I'm just a little out of touch with the last, probably since I've retired, I've kind of, obviously stepped back a little bit from town government, so I think it would be kind of presumptuous of me to say that I would make changes to that or want to make changes right now with that. I think to see it more in action again, see how it's operating these days. I always felt it was efficiently run. I think as long as it had a good chair, it always ran well. Things run pretty expeditiously and judiciously, but I think one thing I might be able to bring to the table here is a level of empathy for applicants to the licensing authority, but at the same time having a certain public sector side kind of take that back a step and not get too involved with that side of it. And so I think that if I could just one thing about any of our boards and committees as someone who has serving the role I did with the town and, as the economic development person. I think that everybody has to look, that works within the town structure, should hopefully look through the eyes of that person that's applying, whether it's a private, individual, whether it's a business, and understand what they're going through. But, obviously working within the guidelines of what they have to at the same time. So sometimes I've seen that, not in this particular board, but sometimes that, you don't always get that, I think. And I just would like to see just that continue, that anyone who serves understands that, there's people on the other side of that,
Well, you seem to have the other side experience, which is good. I think that's a good point. It gives you a lot of insight into how it works on both sides. So.
Yeah, I think that's also why I was chosen as, at that time it was Town Manager Klim that chose me for that position in economic development, because he knew I had that business background. And he knew I could bring that to the table for that role. So I think I can kind of, in a similar fashion, do that here.
Thanks, Mike.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Sure.
So had you ever had any direct experience with the licensing board with any of your business like
No.
you never okay.
No, I never had to apply. No, I didn't have any.
As the economic development
Right,
specialist,
that's where, right.
you were kind of helping people navigate. Well, don't forget you need these licenses.
Exactly.
This
One
is the
of the
pathway.
steps in the
do
permitting
that.
process for a business, certain businesses obviously need to go to licensing authority. And the ones that did, obviously it would steer them towards them as well, but certainly couldn't wield any influence or try to wield any influence. So as a matter of fact, I try not to, I would never even testify at one, because I really felt that wasn't my role.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was appropriate to do so. So I would just kind of help them from a guidance perspective to how to get through the permitting process.
Well, John asked my question, so that was perfect.
Good.
Thank you.
Good minds think alike.
Yeah, but I mean, like everybody else here has said, I think, you obviously have a lot of background that would be beneficial to this board. Because like you say, it has authority in our town, so, we want to make sure we're placing somebody in that position with great experience like you have, so.
Sure.
And thanks for coming back to government.
Well, I've been in the town almost 45 years now. I'm a 45-year washer shore, so I think
I think you've got it figured out.
I want to continue to
And
give
hopefully
back
it
give
won't
back to
take
the town.
into too much of your boating time. 'cause
No.
That wouldn't be good.
Licensing authority doesn't meet every night or like you guys would meet as often as you folks meet. I mean, it's nice.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your time today.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Amelia Stutz, I take it? Yes. Come have a seat. This is Amelia Stutz. She's applying for a youth commission position for a term that expires in 6/30 of 2026. And Council Burdick, would you like to start?
Sure. As I said to the other young lady who was here, I usually refer to a big long resume for someone who's 40 years older than you. But, so, let's see. You go to Sturgis.
I do, yeah.
You're in which grade?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. And Smith Family Popcorn. You still work there?
I do, yeah, this summer.
How did it go after they got crashed into?
That was a challenge for sure. There were a lot of challenges, especially with air conditioning. The humidity has a huge effect on like the quality of the popcorn.
Right.
So our air conditioning was broken for a while. There were like holes in the front wall. So there's a lot of adapting that needed to be done.
Oh,
But
that was a drag. It was
Yeah.
right before Memorial Day too, wasn't it?
oh yeah, it was right in our peak season, or not peak season, but gearing up to our
Almost,
peak
yeah.
season, which definitely had some effects. But I think we worked around it, and it was a fun story kind of to tell to people who came through asking like, what happened to your shop? So yeah, it definitely was a challenge.
Yeah. Do you work a lot of hours?
I haven't worked a ton of hours. Last summer, the summer before I was 15, and being 15, you can't really do a
Right.
lot with like knives, hot oil. So there were limits to how much I could do at the shop. Last summer, I worked much more, but I went on vacation in July, which was when I'd be getting peak hours.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to really up my game this
Well,
season.
That sounds good. So you're busy anyway. You keep busy. What about extracurriculars? Other boards, or well, not what other kids' boards are? Student government, that kind of thing.
Yeah, at my school, student governments run a little differently. Like, there's no class president or anything.
Yeah.
It's there's class officers and representatives. So I haven't really been a part of that as much. I don't want to. My friends are kind of the officers, and I hate to steal their thunder. But I do Model UN at my school, which I love,
Yeah.
and it's very different from local government. It's because it's
Yeah.
obviously international. But I'm sure it does a lot of the same stuff. We do a lot of policy making. We spend a long time writing our papers, and then we go to New York, and we not in the actual UN building, or at least not this time. But the conference was really cool this year. Our guest speaker was Joe Biden, which was really awesome. And so we just spent a few days in New York just arguing our policies and how we can improve the country.
What country do you represent?
I was the Democratic Republic of the Congo, so had a pretty interesting job, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. What makes you want to get in the youth commission? Just be more involved?
Yeah. Most of the leadership positions I've had have been through my school, and I'd just be interested in doing it in more of a town, interacting with a different community of mine. So
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's all different schools.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. All right, thank you. That someone else can go. I want to ask all the questions.
You said you had leadership positions in your school?
Yes.
What do those entail?
So I'm the leader of our school's newspaper. We have this publication, it was formerly called The Zine, like a magazine, but we've kind of converted this year, and we're called The Western Frontier, because I go to Sturgis West, it's like fun. And I'm our editor and president, so I kind of revamped the club this year, and I'm our lead editor, so that mostly just involves doing a lot of work, a lot of reading, and just collecting student submissions and arranging them all into like a visual format. And this is the first time that we're going to get it actually like printed, so we're going to Staples and getting like real editions, which costs a lot. We had to do a lot of fundraising to get that money. But yeah, so we're printing editions of our newspaper, which is like student works, artwork, creative writing, and just news, and also school news, which is cool. And so we're printing it for this edition, so that'll be cool. But yeah.
Okay, so I didn't really catch the UN deal. I know you're. What exactly does that do, and what affiliation does it have with the UN?
Yeah, so it's not directly affiliated with the UN, but it's basically just a replication of the United Nations. So a lot of schools on Cape do it, and schools all over the world do it. There's conferences everywhere. Like, there were kids from, I think, over 40 different countries at this conference that we were going to, so it's popular. But yeah, you get a country and you get a committee, and I was on UNICEF, so I was advocating for rights of children in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and you do a lot of research on the country, current issues that are happening, and then you write up a policy paper, so the country's like background on this policy and how it got to where it is, and then what you think would be good solutions to implement for like solving this issue. And then once you're at the committee, you draft like solution papers like they would do in the UN. And there was a rumor that I don't know if this is actually true or not, but that your solution papers that you settle on with your committee actually get looked over by UN officials, which would be really cool, but I don't think it goes that far. But yeah, no, it was a really cool experience. And you did get guest speakers that would come from the UN, so that was pretty cool. We got to hear actual UN
How about the
voices.
government of the Congo? Do they read your paper?
I don't think so. I wish.
Yeah. What year are you in right now? You're in
Sophomore year.
sophomore, so you're doing a lot of stuff early in your school. Any ideas of what you want to do in the future?
You mean in college and past college? I think the Model UN has really kind of expanded on my passion for history, I think, and international relations. So I'd love to go into government after high school, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you think of doing work overseas?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Take a semester overseas
For
or
sure.
somewhere?
Yeah. I was looking into doing not like a exchange program in I think Panama has one that I'd be interested in, and it's kind of helping this local gardening facility in Panama, which I think would be cool, especially because I'm learning Spanish right now. So that'd be a good way to practice Spanish too. But yeah.
So you took 6 years of Spanish and forgotten it all, so that's you'll be much better off if you go and actually use it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Nelia, thank you for answering my questions. I
Yeah, of
appreciate
course.
it.
Counselor Bloom.
Hey, Amelia.
Hi.
3 years at Smith Family Popcorn, they must really like you.
I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. I don't really have a lot of questions for you because I think, you'd be a great addition to the Youth Commission. I really enjoy how you've spoken, and I guess I'll just pass on any direct inquisition.
Thank you.
Councilor Burdick, you are the liaison to the Youth Commission, correct?
Yeah,
So I haven't watched any of their meetings, so I'm gonna ask you, with the kind of things that Amelia has been explaining to us in her experiences, is there something in particular that you see at the Youth Commission that her excitement and energy that she would bring would be helpful to, that you could maybe ask her a question about?
specific to the youth commission?
Well, cause I haven't watched the meetings, so I'm not really
Well,
that
it depends.
familiar.
I mean, I don't watch all of them. I watch some of them. They tend to, well, I mean, it depends what the issue is that they're talking about. Like sometimes I've watched them and they have like workshops on, teen issues and kids issues. One of them I remember was a lady came and did a presentation on, human trafficking and, that kind of thing. Or they put on the job fair every year, which is really fun.
Yeah,
People
I've
really love
attended that for sure.
But that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
they do anything like when I did Model UN when I dropped out of it, of course, because I quit everything I ever did in high school and didn't ever go to the UN or whatever. But like that's kind of like a good part of that is like parliamentarian, right? That's how it was when there was a bit of like parliamentary procedure.
Mhm.
And so just like a committee, that's what you get together, you gather a quorum, you have a chair, you respect each other's opinions, you debate, you do, whatever. So I don't know anything specific that I could say that, other than someone with an active mind and who wants to participate in what is a proto-municipal process, we could use more of that. Does your school have a debate team? This is something that nobody has anymore, it seems, because that was what I was
We had a
into.
debate club last year, but I think it kind of fell apart.
That's pretty
And
typical.
Amelia, have you watched any of the meetings or attended any of the Youth Commission meetings?
Actually, the last time I was here was in 3rd grade. So I was like an ambassador in my elementary school, and I came and said something in the
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah. You don't remember what you said? We'd like you to repeat
It was
that
something
now.
about no idea.
We'll get out the tape.
But that's too bad there's no debate teams anymore.
And are there other kids from Sturgis West that are on the Youth Commission that you know of?
Sturgis West, I don't know, but I know Sophie Macknick from Sturgis East is actually how I heard about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do track with her. So.
And do you think that your engagement with this Youth Commission might spur on other students who are engaged and interested, such as yourself, or?
I definitely do, yeah, and I think that would be a goal of mine too. I think youth advocacy would be important.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Nice to meet you.
Be in
Nice
touch.
to meet you.
Thank
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
Enjoy the
Thank
weather
you.
out there. Leo Wang, come on up. Have a seat. This is Leo Wang, and he's applying for Youth Commission position as well to a term expiring 6/30/2026. And Councilor Bloom, would you like to start?
Sure. So Leo, what school do you go to? Barnstable High or? Cape Cod Academy, okay. And I see that you live 28 Grace Lane in Sandwich. And the Youth Commission has been something that you decided is attractive to you, and you'd like to get some experience in that
Just
in
like,
that area.
so you mean like why I didn't, why I go to Barnstable Young Commission, or like why I didn't stay in Sandwich, or
Yeah. You tell me why you'd like to be on the commission.
like when I was elementary school and high schools, I studied lots of climate change issue, and so I know that Barnstable Young Commission have done that project before. Yeah, so I think I could make like some contribution for that project, and I also very curious about like climate change, environmental stuffs, and like just like last interview say that they have joined Modern United Nations. When I was middle school, I also joined that kind of stuff, but not in the U.S. I just that's high school.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Berger?
So, when you were how long have you gone to Cape Cod Academy?
1 year.
Just 1 year?
Yes.
Where did you go prior to that?
Huh?
Where were you before that?
Before that, I came from Taiwan. Yeah, and I studied in middle school and high school in Taiwan. Yeah, I'm born in Taiwan.
Born in Taiwan and lived there just until a year ago?
Yes, I just last September I continued.
That's something. How do you like it here?
Good, I like it. Good environment, so
Yeah,
and like good for beach.
that's good.
I know. Learn to speak so well in such a short time.
I'm not sure because I think my speech still needs to improve. Yeah.
Well, there's only one way to do it, right? You must have taken English in Taiwan?
Yes, we have English lesson, and I also have some of tutoring class.
Tutoring now.
Or principal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And how come your family moved from Taiwan? Just decided they needed a change of pace?
Yeah, kind of. They want to, they're not. I would not say don't like Taiwan's education system. You know that Asia's education system
Very strict, right? Very stressful.
They have their advantage, but they still have some of stuff not really do well. So my parents think that maybe we could try to join into U.S. education system and probably apply for U.S. College, have a new environment.
Well, you don't have to go to cram schools here, right? Isn't it cram schools? Is in Japan, I know that's a big deal. In China, where you go through your school day, and then after school you go and study for hours and hours. And
Similar to that.
It does sounds terrible to me. So they made a good choice. How do you like Cape Cod Academy?
Good, like our school is like, I think it's good school, but it's just like smaller people go to this school because we only have 20 people in one class, so that's not too much. Then the good thing is we could communicate and familiar with others, but I would not say bad thing, but like the thing we could prove is like if we have more students, then we could start like other new clubs or small things.
Because there's not enough kids. I went to a Catholic school for a year where there were only 26 kids in my whole grade like that.
Yeah.
And you find it's very insular. You can't, you don't mix with who else. It's just 26 kids. And they'd all gone to school from the time they were in kindergarten to that time.
Yeah.
And so I was just like the odd man out. So I can relate to that. And what grade are you in now?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. So it'd be good, you think, getting involved, it will allow, because do we have any kids from Cape Cod Academy?
I don't know. Do you know if there are any other Cape Cod Academy students on the commission?
No, not
Cindy is
I don't know
nodding
either.
her head no.
There is not. He will be the first representative of.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that would be good.
Whoa, a lot of pressure.
No, I'm glad Mr. Noonan, the Youth Commission representative that's over at the HYCC, highly recommended him. So
Great.
Well, it'll be good, that'll be nice to have someone from that, from Cape Cod Academy, so that you can coalesce, and then you get to hang out over there and go to the meetings and work on your English and all. But that's great. Well, I'm glad that you replied. That's all the questions I have.
Councilor Crowe?
Leo, nice meeting you. As the counselor where the Cape Cod Academy is in my district, it's good to see one of ours go to put in for this youth commission. And it's interesting. I always want to think about somebody from Taiwan, and you're right in the middle of a lot of geopolitical things right now. What is it like being from Taiwan and having all that focus on your island? And as far as China and everything else going on, it's really a hot spot right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
but like, how would I say, it would not awful use read on the news. It just still the same, and we
Yeah.
just keep that. Then I think would not make it would be president whether or leader didn't say like too much, then we would just keep on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. I think.
Try not to make waves, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like just like keep a limited balance.
Yeah.
And now that broke the balance, then that's it. And yeah.
Yeah, balance is the whole thing. What are your favorite subjects in school?
Subject in school, I think probably math or
Yeah,
chemistry.
chemistry. Okay, so biochem comes up, you'll have no problem like the other student.
Yeah.
The other gentleman that was here. He said he was gonna go into veterinary school until he hit biochem. And I went, that's crashing, but I went to a school with a very good reputation for placing kids in med school. And it was so small that we all had to take the same courses that those people did.
So
if
you
you
take
go,
organic chem even though you
no,
were...
not organic,
Oh.
but if you took history, they were trying to, it was really, really academically tough because they were trying to cull
Yeah.
all those students down. If you were just a business major, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm taking history and I'm getting like this. But it was interesting. And so are you adjusting well to being in America? Do you have challenges, I'm sure, with your language and stuff? Do you feel like you're fitting in and making a good effort towards moving forward?
Yeah, whether language or other culture shocks, I think we improve, and maybe I stay for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And the other thing would be solved, I think.
Yeah. And your family is planning on staying for good here in the country?
Yeah, but it's like, just like, it's hard to explain. Like, probably my mom stay here for a couple months, and then my dad home because we are still waiting for the. I'll be honest, yeah, it's still waiting. Like,
For the paperwork and everything to get through
Yeah,
to
yeah,
help
yeah,
you
yeah,
out and that
yeah.
kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's in the works and that kind of thing. What do your folks do here? Right now, what do your parents do here?
Do here?
For work.
For work, what do they do?
They did not working here. They just say, they just still, kind of were still. My mom for now didn't work, and my dad still working in Taiwan, I think.
Oh, they work in Taiwan, so they do it over online or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, all right, cool. That's all I have for you.
Hi, Leo, I'm Kristen. So now that you've moved to Cape Cod, and life is a little different than Taiwan, you're in your sophomore year. What kinds of things do you like to do in your free time when you're not in school?
Not at school, I think just like, watching some soccer game or racing game, kind of. Yeah, some athletic sports. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of extracurricular activities does Cape Cod Academy offer a student? Like outside of school, do they have like clubs? I mean, I know they have some sports and they share some of their sports with other schools, I think, correct?
Oh yeah, it's like in our school we have club, and I also for this year I started for one of them is clean up club, just like clean up the park or beach, some stuff. Then another one is I start with a club with national ocean science bowl. It's like competition teams. Yeah, then we just preparing and like to have a team to participate at those competitions.
Okay, and have you attended any of the youth commission meetings before?
Not yet.
Okay, I'd just like to ask. And do you think if you were to become involved in this commission that you might find some other Cape Cod Academy students who might want to join as well?
Yeah, I will try it to find other people will join.
Well, hopefully you can be the leader, right? Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming today. We
Thanks.
appreciate your
Thank you,
time.
nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you, and welcome to Barnstable.
Yes.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
It's a lot less crowded, I bet.
Thank you, Leo, I'll be in
Thanks,
touch.
Leo. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's going through a lot, I can imagine.
I know, right?
It's a culture shock, I bet.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that everybody?
Thanks, everybody.
How many openings do we have for the youth commission?
Plenty,
Okay.
right, Cindy?
7.
Yeah, there's 7 graduating seniors, and there was 4 positions open prior to that.
Okay.
This is a very youth commission heavy one. I realize they need a lot of people. Is there nothing else coming
Well,
up?
I think we figured because they get out of.
They get out of school, so
you know what?
Mr. Noonan, the
Yeah.
youth coordinator, wanted to make sure that we got them on board before, so that when they
Right.
start school in September, they're brand new to the,
Okay.
to the.
Do they meet over the summer, the youth commission?
They do a couple of fundraising things, like they'll clean up a beach, or they'll do a
Yeah.
park, or they'll
So,
assist in some of the Hyannis Civic Association stuff. They'll reach out to the youth commission. They go to the senior center. I know they do that. So
and this group of kids will not be able to start until July 1st? Like if we.
no, they'll start as soon as they're appointed.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't get out, I believe, till the end of June, so they'll have
Yes.
most of May.
Okay, perfect, all right. Would anyone like to make a motion for Jillian Boyle?
I'll do so. Just a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And a motion for Amelia Stutz?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And for Leah Wang?
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And would anyone like to make a motion for David Goro?
I will do so.
Second.
All those in favor?
So,
You want to discuss?
Discuss, yeah.
You don't like him?
no, I do like him, but what are we voting for? Because there's no,
The open space committee?
A member vacancy expiring
David
6/30,
Gurrill.
2027.
yeah, but do we vote for something that happens so far away, so long? I mean, it's,
That's the end of his term.
No, that's when this new term expires. So if he's placed on it in 2025, his term will end on 2027
So there's a
oh,
current.
I see what you mean. I thought the vacancy was
No.
was on,
You're like, why
okay.
are we doing this? People putting them
Okay.
in the
Very
bag for
far
2
ahead.
years.
I'm sorry, that's my problem. Oh, so there is an open space on the open space committee.
There is.
Okay, I'll vote for David.
All those in
I'll
favor?
nominate David.
Aye.
And I would like to hold off on Mr. Travato only, I just think we should advertise the position just because it just became open yesterday.
Okay.
And I think that that's only fair to give people that also might want to apply,
Yeah, I agree.
you know, an opportunity.
Why not?
And we have the other people who are up for reappointment that we'd also want to re-interview, although some of them, actually, no, none of them will be people we've interviewed. Counselor Burdick,
No.
Illuminati, because they just got, that person got placed last year.
Right.
So we'll hold on that.
That's good.
Who did we put on there? The FBI agent. What was his name? Like Conley?
Yeah,
Detective Murphy.
Murphy, that's what it was.
okay, and did everybody have time to look over the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, next meeting.
Next meeting.
I know a couple of you reached out and said that you were available June 10th and 24th, that those were the 2 good dates so far. I don't know if that still holds
I'm
right
good
now.
with all of them.
Yeah, you were good with
Yeah.
all of them, yeah.
I can't make
Charlie's
the,
retired.
I can't make the 27th,
Right,
because I have health, medical thing.
right.
And then there was, the other date was the,
What were the
10th, June 10th?
What was in May again? Can you just give me the dates? again?
Let's see, it was 27th and the 30th. But we have John's committee meeting, I don't know if they're gonna start meeting on Fridays or not, so Fridays are tough, just so you know, it's hard to get IT staff,
I don't wanna do Fridays.
so that's why they look all open.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd rather do that too. But I can do the 10th and the other one during
The 24th, you said, yeah.
10th and 24th.
okay, do we,
Anybody else have any conflicts?
It's hard for me to tell. You just make the meeting and then I
can
make
we,
the question.
can we, Cindy, can we prepare the 10th and the 24th, both of those days? And then that way,
We can meet twice in 1 week.
we should have the people that are being reappointed that might be coinciding with a new person applying, we can get that kind of stuff. I'll look through the list again.
Yep.
And cross-check what you've given me.
So the 10th and the 24th,
Yeah.
you'd like those to be all reappointments, and then if I can get people in scheduled for interviews,
Yeah,
how many
like we've-
interviews would you like to do on
Yeah,
one?
like, we interviewed, last time, the woman who was interested in like conservation planning board.
Deborah DeWork.
Yeah, so we don't need to re-interview her,
No,
but we just need to interview the people for
Yeah, she
reappointment.
was good. I liked her.
Yeah, so, but I'll cross-check and the lists as well, and with what you've given me, who's up for reappointment, and,
okay.
You got time for those?
yeah,
3 o'clock?
yeah, three,
Should we be saving an earlier date for the youth commission kids who are going to be applying to, to get them on the board before
Are
the
there
end of
more
school?
beyond
Yeah,
what
how
we had
many-
today?
I'm gonna reach out to Mr. Noonan. I wanna say they meet during the summer, but I'll reach out and find out. But I know that he wanted them interviewed or possibly interviewed before the end of the school year, which ends June 24th, I believe. Just so that they could be on board, be known that they're members,
Yeah.
and then they know what to expect.
well, we could do, I know you can't do the 27th,
Yeah.
but we could do the
Yeah,
27th,
that's fine.
as long as.
Of
Could we
May,
Yeah, could we maybe see if we could do the youth commission kids on May 27th?
as far as what? I don't have any more youth commission.
Oh, there's no more applicants for youth commission?
No, these people.
That's it?
Yep,
Oh, okay, so we're done with that.
until the
Could
school
we-
year
could we-
starts and they do recruiting or whatever, and then you start getting them periodically throughout the school year.
Yeah,
But right now, these were the ones that were left over from
okay.
December that actually applied, but we weren't up and running.
So typically, do you expect any of the youth commission new nominees to come through between now and the end of the school year?
No.
Okay,
Any more applications, you mean?
Yeah.
No, George Noonan said that those were the last ones
those are
that
the
he
last
had.
ones, okay. Then
And
we
he
don't,
usually does the recruiting.
yeah, then we don't need to save a date.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason, a rash of them.
And if there does, I can certainly reach out, but I have not received anything since their last,
So that's the 10th and the 24th?
yes, 10th and the 24th.
Alright. Would somebody like to entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn for the day.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You are adjourned.